Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup right here on BQ Prime. I'm Neeraj Shah. Lots of things to monitor. Keep in mind the BOJ decision would be out. Maybe for some of you, by the time you see this, the BOJ decision would already be out, and that might be making a material difference to what we're thinking. China's manufacturing has shrunk, signaling a recovery that is still fragile. So lots happening um, in the world market. So let's take stock of the global news flow. Japan September industrial output rose 0.2% only month on month. The estimate was 2.5%. Can you beat that? Yen has rallied on the BOJ note, but has paired gains shortly afterwards as well. Saudi forces are on high alert after the deadly clash with Houthi rebels. Now, is Saudi getting drawn into this Middle Eastern conflict? And is this large enough as well? Don't quite know, but yes, do keep in mind that this is a new thing that has come up when it comes to the Middle Eastern conflict, because the military is certainly gone. Their military is gone into a state of high alert because of the clashes with Yemen, Iran-backed Houthi rebels. So that's part three. U.S. futures are little changed after a strong start to the week. And why I say strong start to the week? Because the U.S. market certainly had a strong start, about 1% higher for each of the indices. The Dow in particular, which had a very uh, week Friday, has bounced back very strongly. No other changes. I don't think the other Qs, the yield is still at 4.89. Sure, VIX may have come off a little bit, but it's almost steady at 20, and dollar index almost steady at 106, 106 half. 2 days of a strong move for the Nifty. I reckon the gift Nifty should still be showing some signs of an uptick. Okay, flattish for now. Let's see if we rally. Now remember, this is around the levels where there is a stiff resistance for our markets. So that's to be kept in mind. Now, what happened in trade yesterday? Yesterday was a strong day. I mean, Nifty 50 increased for the second consecutive day. The Bank Nifty increased 0.6% to close at 43039. And more importantly, it was led by the heavyweights, HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank, which is a good thing. And Nifty Realty increased 2%, was the top gainer, followed by Nifty Energy, led by Reliance, no doubt. So that was there. But more important for me yesterday, viewers, was that large caps, Reliance, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, led the move. Bank Nifty closed at the day's highs. Yes, volumes were missing at the mid cap and the small cap end, and the small cap gain was very, very paltry, if you will. But if we see some stability, if there's no big shake up in the large caps, then even that confidence might come in. But let's wait and watch if that happens or no. Like I said yesterday on Trade Setup, there are conflicting opinions from very marquee technical experts as well. CK Narayan believing that November will be a great month or return to normalcy. Gautam Shah saying that no, we'll actually see a downdraft towards 18,500. So let's wait and watch. So therefore, the trade setup, to my mind, for today at least, global market positioning as well as the derivative stance, because there's a lot of short positions still existing even after yesterday's move. It may help the market start off well yet again, to my mind. Even if the gift Nifty is showing a flattish start, I think we might have a start which is marginally in the green. From a support perspective, the max put OI is at 19,000 strike with 95.58 lakh contracts, which is a key support for the markets, which are currently about a couple of 100 points higher. And then I was trying to think of what sectors, etc. We've spoken about sectors at length, and sure, that could be a key. But I think a study for all of us who pride ourselves on being individual investors, if you are one of that, you should undertake this. Look at the dollar debt companies and which might have refinance needs. Keep in mind the interest rates in the US are now much higher, right, than what used to be when these companies might have first taken up that dollar debt financing. If the refinancing has to be done at a substantially higher rate of interest, then could those companies come under stress? Could their profitability come under stress? I'm not saying there'll be blowups, but could those companies come under stress? And the answer should be an unequivocal yes. And which is why, if you observe carefully, there are a clutch of these companies which are trading with a fair degree of weak bias relative to some of the others, even in the large cap end. I think this is a clear and present danger to profitability for some of these names, and therefore you should try and figure out which of these could have some major stress, because those stocks will not bounce back even if the markets were to stage a market-wide bounce back. Keep that at the back of your mind. Um, Key F&O losers yesterday included a Petronet LNG, which was down 8.5% with volumes at 12.7 times. What I'm saying by F&O losers is that stocks in the F&O space and therefore are liquid, but the volumes are cash market volumes. Keep that in mind. M&M Financial Services down 11.5%, 11.8 times the 2-week average. SBI Cards 5 percentage points lower, 9 times the volumes on average. AU Small Finance Bank 3.5, 4.7 times. UPL 3.5% lower, 2.5 times volumes. All of these had fundamental reasons for the why they fell. Petronet because of the unrelated diversification, and I have a note today which I'll get to you later. M&M Financial results, SBI Cards results plus Jio and SBI. Note some media reports of Jio and SBI launching a credit card together. AU Small Finance Bank, the acquisition and results, maybe provisioning was higher. UPL results and the guidance cut. All of these fell on very high volumes because of fundamental reasons. And by the way, speaking of falls, just before I get to specific stocks, Jeffries, I think in a Business Standard conference, has said that India stocks may drop 25% if the BJP loses the 2024 polls. This is as per Bloomberg. We saw the story on Bloomberg. The story is on BQ Prime website as well. You might want to tune in and read that. So politics remains center stage. Very quickly, stocks to monitor. Key stocks which saw short covering: MGL results, Cipla results, Indian Hotels results, SBI Life results, and Reliance Industries results. So key to note, a clutch of these results stocks which had a fair sprinkling of shorts saw some covering. Watch out for them. Maybe there could be more in store. Then in news, HDFC Bank did a buy-side analyst meet and has some positive inklings for business. The bank apparently has said that there's no P&L loss from construction finance book from here on. It's also said that it will grow 400 basis points higher than the system credit growth. So key things to monitor. And certainly HDFC Bank, the positive inklings were. The stock was up 1% yesterday. Could it do a bit more today? Let's see. Tata Motors has won an arbitral award of 766 crores with interest thereon at 11% per annum from September 1st, 2016. This should be shot in the arm for the stock. Let's wait and watch if it reacts. Media reports suggest that there will be an Inox Wind block. Sorry, I should have written Inox Wind because there are 3 Inox entities, but the block deal could be an Inox Wind. Promoter, Inox Wind Energy, is likely to sell shares in the company via a block deal. The promoter entity is likely to sell shares worth about 500 crores. The deal is likely to at a discount of 5% to CMP. We at BQ Prime do not have individual confirmation of the same, but this is coming media reports. So I just thought I should bring it to your notice that there might be a block. It could be a largish one, maybe at a discount. The stock had rallied 8% yesterday. May see a bit of a cool off because of this block. Keep that in mind. Then some strong results. Mangalore Chemicals, excellent numbers. Revenues up 4x or 3.9x, if you will, at 1410 crores versus 283. EBITDA profit versus an EBITDA loss. Profit versus a net loss. And more importantly, the cash flow from operations was 108 crores due to an improvement in inventories and receivables from the previous year. Extremely strong showing. I won't be surprised at all if this stock has a positive reaction to its numbers. Vesuvius India, another good numbers, not as blowout as Mangalore Chemicals, but a 16% uptick in revenues. Margins increased nearly 540 basis points. Profit after tax up 67% as a result of their EBITDA expansion. I believe these numbers might get some reward, so watch out for this one. Procter & Gamble Hygiene and Healthcare, revenues up 9%, margins expand meaningfully, 450 basis points. PAT, as a result, was up 36% at 211 crores versus 154 crores. All of these companies which are reporting these kind of numbers are seeing some reaction, so watch out for these as well. APL Apollo, excuse me because I didn't add, I'm not comparing them to the Bloomberg estimates, and which is I'm not completely sure. It was a steady set of numbers from APL Apollo. Margins expanded though. On that base, that margin expansion is pretty cool, as a result of which the profit after tax was up 35%. But the stock is expensive, remember that. So the 16% revenue growth, is it good enough to evoke some reactions? I don't know. GMR Airport Infrastructure, revenues up, margins up. The net loss stayed steady, but I think the operational numbers are a bit of a shot in the arm. Let's see if there's a bit of a reaction. Gokaldas was disappointing for the kind of moves that it made post that deal that it signed. The numbers left a bit to be desired, and relative to some of the other textile companies as well, the numbers leave a bit to be desired. Revenue is down, margins correct a little bit, PAT down 48%, not the best. Prism Johnson has started greenfield tile production plant in West Bengal. Commercial production has started. Marginal addition, 10% addition to its overall capacity. But now that it's started, could it result in a stronger second half for the business? I think that is what the street might reward. Let's wait and watch. A couple of brokerage notes on stocks that were active and on results. So Petronet LNG, most brokerages have downgraded the stock slash target prices. Jeffries, the note, they've downgraded to underperform, target price cut to 180 from 300. They say that non-core diversification with capex equivalent to current balance sheet size and uncertain economics is the principal reason. They believe Petronet's balance sheet will go from 6,000 crores of net cash to net debt position by FY 26-27. They have lowered FY 24, 25, 26 estimates meaningfully. No surprise that the stock was the rank key underperformer yesterday. Very likely that it will not be out of the woods today. DLF came out with numbers. Morgan Stanley note captured it well, overweighted with a target price of 549. The Q2 net profit grew by 31%, helped by lower interest expense and higher rental income. The higher collection drove the company into a net cash position, excluding the JV rental. So that's to be kept in mind. DLF, the problem is valuations. 50 times trailing PE implies that a lot of growth has already been priced in. What I've not spoken about, I've given graphics for our two other names, viewers, which could be very active today. Blue Star, very strong earnings. The unitary product segment was a big surprise. Unitary cooling solutions for Blue Star, the sales were up 38%. Now, relative to Lloyd's, which was up 19%, or Voltas, which was up 15%, they clocked in 38% uptick. Blue Star remains a management conversation to monitor as well. We'll try to get them today on air. It's a packed day today on BQ Prime, unfortunately, but let's try and see how we can do that. But clearly, one of the key stocks to monitor this morning today because of this performance. Very, very strong. The other one is Supreme Industries. The results notwithstanding, the management revised the guidance for blended plastic volume growth to 23% versus 20% earlier in the case of Supreme. Pipes volume growth, I'm reading it out, 28% versus 23 to 25% earlier, and also guided for 14.5% consolidated EBITDA margin versus 14% earlier for FY24. Viewers would remember that Astral had similar confidence as well. Didn't see that in Apollo Pipes, but the others, the larger ones, certainly have that confidence. And well, I wouldn't be surprised if both Supreme as well as Blue Star have some good reactions today. Very quickly, conversations today on BQ Prime. Everybody's talking about flows. I think it's important to hear from Cameron Brandt, Director of Research at EPFR. He joins in at 10 a.m. today on Talking Point. Must hear conversation, I presume. Then all eyes on the globe at the Morningstar conference. We'll be present. Mark Mobius, founder of Mobius Capital Partners at 1:20. Dan Kemp, CIO of Morningstar Investment Management Group at 1 p.m. So that's to be tuned in for. We'll hear from Radhika Gupta, MD and CEO of Edelweiss Mutual Fund, and from Ajay Bagga, market expert at 4 p.m. So that's to be watched out for. And a clutch of other conversations, corporate conversations. Saugata Gupta of Marico at 12 p.m. Kishore Patil, co-founder and CEO of KPIT at 12:30 p.m. It's not a.m., it's 12:30 p.m. Puneet Lalbhai of Arvind at 1:45. And Rajendra Singh Pawar, co-founder and CEO of NIIT at 2:45. I'm going to tune in for some of these as well. And thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup today.